What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. Now, I watched the debates, and it appears everybody's in a tizzy. That's right. All of those that, for some reason, believe that Donald Trump is a racist, or he's been dealing with this topic or question about whether he's a racist for, I guess, since he's been elected, even prior to that. A lot of them feel that Donald Trump did not respond properly when, I say, Chris Wallace asked Donald Trump to, I guess, denounce or condemn, militia groups or right wing, groups or white nationalists. Yeah, a lot of folks was a little concerned, and they was asking, well, why didn't he just straight come out and condemn them? Well, I'll tell you why. This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount. Now, as I said in the question in my opening, why didn't Donald Trump fall into this whole let me condemn these white nationalists, these right wingers and all of that stuff? Why didn't he do it? Why didn't he just come out and say, all right, I condemn them? Well, first things first, how many times do you want me to condemn it? That would be my thought, okay? Because he's done that multiple times, see. But what hasn't happened is Joe Biden has not condemned Antifa. See, in fact, if there was anything about this debate tonight that I would say Trump needs to be aware of is simply interrupting Joe Biden in his responses. Because he was asked about all of this stuff, and as he started talking, Trump interrupted. But I wanted to see it through. I wanted to see what Joe Biden was going to eventually say. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the clip, and we'll break it down and go from there, okay?
Have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared to
do
specifically
do it?
Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
Who would
right
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
FBI director
This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got to be
not
kidding.
militia. That's what his FBI. His FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
So now, as you see, Trump was asked about it, and you got to understand, those that has been following this, those that see the manipulation, the game that's been played since day one, is create a race narrative that isn't really a race narrative, that isn't really a national problem, what's going on, to distract folks from the real race issue, which really isn't a race issue, it's a culture issue. So he was asked about condemning white nationalists, white supremacists, and all of that good stuff. And the lie that has been told since day one about Charlottesville is Trump never did that. Now, we all know that's a lie, but Joe Biden throws it out there as if it was true. Trump's problem is he didn't properly explain why that's a lie. He didn't even address it. He just said, I never said it, kind of under his breath. But because this is a lie that's used constantly, Trump has to address it in detail. Don't just say, I never said that, or go watch the whole tape, because folks are too lazy to go back and watch the whole tape. They want Trump to continually do things that they don't even request or require out of Joe Biden. So when it comes down to issues of race, because these are the folks that create the race narrative constantly, it's always being thrown up in Trump's face and everybody else's face like it's a major problem. Now, those that are reasonable and see the game, we know it's not a major problem. We know this is something they're trying to gin up and manipulate to appear to be a major problem, and to address it or validate it through saying, I condemn white nationalists, white supremacists, when this isn't even a major issue, is only feeding that narrative like this is really a problem. So my thought is this. Well, let's go back down through the history since Trump was elected all the way till now and find out if these are problems that need to be addressed and condemned. That's what I would say. Because, see, the same requirements for all of those folks on the left aren't the same for the folks on the right. Perfect example, let's see. Biden, he doesn't have to condemn Robert Byrd. No, none of that. He doesn't have to denounce Antifa. He doesn't have to denounce Black Lives Matter. Nobody sticks a mic in his face and asks him, does he denounce Robert Byrd? Does he denounce his crime bill? No, he doesn't get those type of questions because, one, even Chris right here, he's already knew he was going to be horrible. But nonetheless, no one ever asked him to do that. They don't. They might bring it up every blue moon. Trump needs to bring that up. Not only does he need to bring it up against him, but he needs to let this dude answer the whole question. I know it's tempting. I know he'd be wanting to come in and be like, he's lying or whatever. But if you leave him alone, he will burn his own bridge. And it appears that Trump is too anxious or interrupting the whole situation. And in reality, he's seeing the kind of the trail that Joe's going down. And he should just let him go down that trail and see if he ever really answers the question, because Joe doesn't answer it. Trump was interrupting to keep or save Joe from actually having to either not answer it or answer it correctly when it comes down to certain things. Like, let's see, Hunter Biden and all that stuff coming from Russia. I mean, Joe never explained it. He just said it's not true. It's been debunked. That's it. Chris doesn't press it. He's not going to do that. Same thing when it comes down to Antifa. He never said that Antifa, I denounced them. He just simply said, it's not true. It's an idea, not an organization, which is also a lie. But guess what? Nobody is going to attack him for that. Because, see, we don't spend all that time on the right building these narratives of racism, of all of this stuff. We see problems, we identify them, we address them, and so on and so forth. But this man and Chris Wallace asked him to condemn white nationalism. Now, if you know that's the game that the left plays, building all these narratives of racism, white nationalism, but you don't believe that these are real issues, but yet they want you to condemn it, which would validate that these things are real issues. Trump will not validate that because we know these aren't real issues. Now, let me give you an example. A couple years back, when they were saying, all right, there's a white nationalist rally coming up here and in Washington, D.C., it's going to be packed. We're expecting thousands, and only 24 people showed up. That right there should let you know white supremacy, white nationalists, or Ku Klux Klan members aren't a major issue. The other thing that they over-exaggerate and make seem like this is a huge issue is, I guess, these militias, these white supremacy militias showing up all over the place, inciting all of this anger and this violence. Or are these simply patriots responding to Antifa, Black Lives Matter? Are these just patriots that's expressing First, Second Amendments? Are these folks are just patriots coming to protest peacefully? And yet it escalates because people like Antifa, who is a real problem, people like Black Lives Matter come to stir up problems. See, so they never really identify all of these groups that he just talked about. Chris Wallace mentioned white supremacy groups and militias. Well, show me the white militia, the white supremacy group that started the problem. I ain't talking about Charlottesville, because we all know what took place there, and Trump did denounce them, and all they're trying to do is beat a dead horse. They want him to keep saying it as if this is an ongoing, continual problem. And by saying, I denounce it, I denounce it, I denounce it, you're playing into this whole fake narrative that they're trying to build up. But the double trap is, if he doesn't denounce it, then they're going to say he didn't do it because he supports it. I see the game. Y'all see the game. Unfortunately, a lot of citizens don't see the game because they have bought into the belief that white nationalism is a major problem in America. And it's not. And these so-called militia groups that he's talking about are patriots. Why would he denounce them? I mean, I don't see any video footage of patriots coming in starting trouble. I don't see any footage of them burning down stuff. I see people exercising their First and Second Amendments and being antagonized, attacked, provoked by who? The real group, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. And when they respond to that, then the media deems them to be some type of white nationalist group or some militia. And I'm thinking, why are they militia? Why do they need to be condemned or denounced? See, but Trump wasn't able to eloquently relay that message and make that clear, and also call out why he don't have the need to, once again, denounce white supremacy, white nationalists, and militias, because these aren't problems in America. He cannot, Joe and Chris, cannot tell us outside of those folks that showed up in Charlottesville, which I still question. I'm talking about the ones Trump did condemn. But besides that, name one other time that the origin of some violence or attacks or disruption started from a white nationalist group, white supremacy group, or a militia. So now, why would Trump then go ahead and play the game and dive in and say, well, I denounce, because he threw in also militias as well. I mean, these aren't violent militias. They didn't go in there to start trouble. So my point is, why condemn them? Let's focus on what's really stirring up all of this and causing a need for folks to even feel like a militia is needed to protect their citizens, their businesses, and their cities. There would be no need for a militia to go in and feel that way if these liberal states and cities would let the law enforcement stop folks like Antifa and Black Lives Matter from doing this stuff. And Joe gets off easy because he never had to denounce or even recognize that Antifa is actually a real organization. But Chris Wallace doesn't follow up on that. He doesn't say, well, actually, Mr. President, that's a lie. These people are real. No, he doesn't do that. See, that's why I said when the debate was about to go down, I said, Chris Wallace, I throw him in there in the category of the rest of them. So I'm going to have more to say about this tomorrow during my live show. Stay tuned. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We'll find y'all on in Kevin's Corner next time. Don't forget, check out Extreme Tees. Put Kevin in the promo code. You get a 20% discount. And if you want to donate to Kevin in Kevin's Corner, feel free. Links below this video. All right. God bless. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.